Okay, we come now at last to what I consider to be the trickiest part of this chapter, and it's finding and interpreting solutions to absolute value inequalities. If you recall, absolute value, like you see right here in these bars, always represents a value that is positive. It really is a way of measuring how far a number n is from zero. So before I even look at this example here, if I were to write an equation, if I said the absolute value of n is equal to 3, there are two values that n can be. N can be 3, because positive 3 is equal to positive 3, but n can also be negative 3, because the absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. So really, remember, an absolute value of a number is just that number or its opposite. It's basically asking how far from 0 is 3. Well, it's going to be 3 units from 0, so it's always positive. Now, when it comes to absolute values, we can think about inequalities, we can think about them in a similar way. Now, let's think of here. This is saying that the absolute value of n is now less than or equal to 3. So let's think of what some solutions could be. Well, 3 is a solution, right? Positive 3 works, positive 2 works, positive 1 works, and 0 works. All of those numbers are less than or equal to positive 3. Now, I can also plug in these numbers, right? Negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3, because the absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3, which is still equal to 3. Where it stops, though, is I can't say negative 4 or positive 4, for that matter. All right, since I'm doing this in descending order. 4 is not less than 3, so that doesn't work. Negative 4 won't work because when I evaluate the absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. So even though, yes, negative 4 is less than 3, the absolute value of negative 4 is not. So negative 4 is no longer a solution. So how would this graph look? Well, you can see here, it's just going to be all real numbers between positive 3 and negative 3. So I'm going to mark with a closed circle positive 3 and negative 3, and my solution is graphed right there. So really it's just any number between negative 3 and positive 3. Those are all of our solutions for n. Now, this works a little different when the absolute value is a greater than. So it says here, this time, the absolute value of r is greater than 5. Well, let's start with positive values here. This time 5 doesn't work because 5 is not greater than 5. 6 works, 7 works, 8 works, and so on, right? But now, since it says absolute value, let's think of some values below 0 that will work. There are some. Negative 2 won't, right? Because negative 2, absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. 2 is not greater than 5. But negative 6 will work. Negative 7 will work. Negative 8 will work, and so on. So you're going to see this looks sort of like our OR statements from before. R can be any number that is, well, if I find 5 here, find 5, circle it with an open circle, because any number larger than positive 5 will make this statement true. However, in addition to that, any number less than negative 5 will also be true. So if we sort of recap what we've done here so far, if I say n is less than or equal to 3, if I want to write out this solution algebraically, here's the graph. I can say that n is greater than negative 3, so I'm going to write this as a combined statement. Negative 3 is less than n, which is less than, or excuse me, less than or equal to 3. So this is saying that n is greater than or equal to negative 3 and less than or equal to 3. This is an and statement, right? And then if it's a greater than sign, right? Well, this is going to look a little bit different. This is going to be an or statement. This is saying that r is greater than 5 or r is less than negative 5. And these patterns are going to hold up this entire time as we study this. You're going to see that whenever we're dealing with less than signs, it's going to create an and statement. And whenever we're dealing with greater than signs, it's going to create an or statement. Now, before I leave you here, I'm going to leave you with 2 quick examples. These are just little shortcuts to problems we sometimes see. For anything like this, where it says the absolute value of m is less than -2, this is actually a trick question. Whenever you see this, if you see a statement like this, where it's a less than sign, and the value that it's less than is a negative, there is no solution. In fact, I challenge you to think of one. If you're not sure why, think of a number whose absolute value is less than negative. Well, by definition, right, absolute values are always greater than 0, or excuse me, always greater than or equal to 0. So absolute values can be 0, but they're never negative. So you could see some super complicated problem over here, but if you see less than a negative, stop right there. No solution. Now, by the same token, here's another one you can shortcut. If you ever see a statement that's in an absolute value form and it's greater than a negative, well, every absolute value is greater than a negative. So this is just going to be all real numbers. All real numbers, because any value I want, positive, negative, decimal, fraction, whatever, anything I substitute for y, so long as it's a real number, will make this statement true. So there you have it. We'll go over this in more detail when we meet today, but this is a great place to get started.